I'm really happy to be here on behalf of our 250,000 member businesses. NASE's members are micro businesses, 10 or less employees, and the self-employed that are the segment of the business population that repeatedly struggles with complying with our complex and ever-changing tax code, and they do so without the benefit of professional assistance. We feel that any recommendation relating to tax compliance must be reasonable and effective, and unfortunately, we believe this recommendation is neither. This proposal is likely to have significant unintended consequences. The lack of clear details regarding its implementation must be addressed to accurately gauge its effect on both the microbusiness community and our economy. Todd mentioned quite a bit about the use of data, which is one of our top concerns, so I will second all of his comments in regards to that, particularly our concern of the use of industry profiles to make estimations on other types of items on the tax return, like cash payments. We think that that will be riddled with inaccuracies and just cause a lot of significant difficulties for small business. Another area that is ripe for mishandling in regards to this proposal is the taxpayer identification number verification and the backup withholding process that would be required of credit and debit card issuers under this plan. These companies would be required to verify the TIN of a business, and if that information is inaccurate, they would have to back up withhold 28% of the gross transactions for that business. Obviously, no specifics have been released to date as to how the IRS plans to effectively implement these components. There are likely to be inadvertent reporting errors through this process, yet there's confusion regarding where a small business owner would go to rectify any problems. Many sole proprietors, the majority of NASE's membership, use their social security number as their identifier. Therefore, we are concerned about privacy and protection of personal data under this plan. In addition, withholding on gross transactions will create a substantial cash flow problem for the self-employed. In 2007, the median gross revenue of an NASE member's business was only $62,500, and overwhelmingly their business was the main source of household income. Thus, backup withholding could also place a severe financial strain on their families. Cost is another factor that we must consider. Overall implementation of this proposal will require financial and human capital resources by both the IRS and the credit and debit card companies. We think it's prudent that Congress require IRS to prepare a cost-benefit analysis of this plan, which would to determine potential costs of administrations as it compares to projected revenue. Moreover, our bigger concern is the credit and debit card companies, who are more than likely to pass the cost of compliance onto their micro-business merchants in the form of higher user fees. NASE member Keith Kaufman owns a business in Arizona. He receives about 60% of his transactions through credit and debit cards, and he is significantly worried about the additional financial burden on his business in the form of higher credit card fees. Because he cannot charge more for credit card transactions, he'd essentially have to eat those fees, and it would affect his bottom line. So we strongly encourage Congress to reach out to these pertinent companies to determine the ultimate impact on consumers before they even think of moving forward on this proposal. In conclusion, I think there are two key questions that we need to ask. Will this proposal increase tax compliance, and will government recoup funds with the implementation of this plan? The majority of NASE members feel that this recommendation will not increase tax compliance. They are quick to point out that this proposal will be collecting information that is well documented, already likely reported, and would be revealed easily upon review. Therefore, the taxpayer who willingly underreports would not knowingly choose to exclude credit card receipts, since those items show up on bank statements and have a paper trail. In regards to recovering revenue, the NASE believes that it is highly unlikely that this plan will identify any additional taxable income. In fact, we think that the majority of the revenue collected would be from inaccuracies or mistakes that would trigger backup withholding. The NASE does not support this recommendation, and we urge Congress to look to alternative solutions. In our opinion, the legislator's true interest in this proposal lies with its possible use as an offset for various congressional spending priorities. We understand the fiscal climate our government is facing. However, you're asking the segment of the economy that's affected most by the current high healthcare costs, by high energy costs, facing difficulties by a current credit crunch to foot the bill for other proposals, many of which they would receive no benefit from. Congress should focus on ensuring passage of effective policy at a reasonable cost for all citizens before they rush to put the financial squeeze on the self-employed and micro business. Thank you.